The church wanted by the Father, founded on the rock, Christ. That will never retreat but will advance in these hard and difficult times. Without being affected by the trials and difficulties, by calumnies, by slanders widespread artfully by those who have discarded Christ and Christianity to live and let everyone live religious syncretism, relativism, Beliaism that dominates this world to make a generic common good triumph that in reality is devoid of the Spirit of the Father. Here is the difference between this church and other churches that use the name of God, who use the name of God to influence people, to dominate others, practicing religion as a human power to re-enslave and crush many little ones, subjugating them with the fear of making them lose communion with the Father's heart and consequently losing their salvation. The Father in His infinite mercy and His merciful justice came to the aid of His children by sending the only begotten Son back to the land of love promised to His faithful children from ancient times. That land where milk and honey flows, it is written, where we live essentially and substantially the communion with Jesus, living bread descended from heaven, true food and true drink for all those who worship God in spirit and truth. For all those who want to live the teachings Jesus, that are spirit and life as the Master teaches us in the Gospel. When explaining the meaning of eating His flesh, He said, "My words are spirit and life." In fact, the flesh benefits nothing. Here is the understanding that today as a church we want to bring to the world in this advancing and to make it clear that here we live the communion with Jesus, living bread descended from heaven. One believes in communion, in the sacrament of communion with Jesus, living bread descended from heaven, true food and true drink. But everything is understood and lived in a spiritual way, to give the Spirit as Jesus had announced in these times the possibility to act in totality. Here is the New Jerusalem, announced by the Holy Scriptures. Here is the era of the Holy Spirit, of the Paraclete, of the Consoler as Jesus revealed to His maiden, the woman of God, and as it is written in the Gospel, that He would send the Consoler, the Spirit of truth, to reveal the things to come, that future we are now living, that is our present. Here then is that the Father sent His Son in this land in the likeness of a child, the child God, to be able to ensure that all could and will be reborn from above and thus be able to live the promises that Jesus made then. Here then is that all of us are on the way, in this way which is always the only way that leads to salvation, Christ. We are on our way to embrace the absolute truth, Christ.